What's up, you guys? Welcome to this week's video. There's something that's been happening recently in the social media sphere that I want to talk to you guys about. It's really exciting. This is the carnivore diet. I don't know if you guys have heard about this. It's a diet where you eat only animal products. So let me just clarify what the diet is for a moment. It's no plant products. So no spices, no vegetables, no fruit. It's a diet that consists of animal meat, collagen, eggs, salt as a seasoning, but it includes the whole animal. So I want to talk to you guys about this diet because I've been doing it. I love to jump into this stuff. I'm always curious about these things, and I heard really interesting things about this diet with regard to autoimmunity. Lots of people are commenting in social media, people who have rheumatoid arthritis or other autoimmune conditions, and saying that they're getting great results with this diet. So I was very much intrigued. And I think that this is the key with the diet, potentially. The idea that by removing all of the plant antigens, we are essentially creating a really powerful elimination diet. And that some people in the population might react to plant antigens, and that might trigger autoimmunity. So I thought I would give it a try myself. And after doing it, I've been doing it for about a month. I'm going to do a separate video telling you how I do it and how I feel. But I want to give you guys 4 key things about this diet that I think are important to consider from a biochemical, nutritional, medical standpoint if you're going to try it. The first thing that I would think about is the methionine-glycine ratio. And hopefully that's not too much biochemistry. Let me just tell you guys about this real quickly. Methionine is an amino acid that's in muscle meat. And on a carnivore diet, it's really easy to think you're just going to eat a lot of steaks. But it's important that if you're going to eat the muscle meat of an animal, you also eat the connective tissue. And if it's hard to get connective tissue, you want to supplement with collagen, hydrolyzed collagen. And the idea is that methionine is in muscle meat and glycine is more prevalent in connective tissue. If you only eat muscle meat, you're going to get too much methionine and you're not going to get enough glycine. Why is this an issue? This is going to be a little bit biochemistry based, but methionine is a carrier of methyl groups. When you have too much methionine, it uses up your body's glycine to buffer the methyl groups. That's about where I'll go for now. If you want more videos on methylation, I'm happy to tell you, but it's important to know if you eat a bunch of methionine in muscle meat, you got to balance it with glycine or your biochemistry is going to get all messed up. Number 2, I think it's important to carefully consider your macros on a carnivore diet. And what I mean by that is your ratio of protein to fat, because there's no carbohydrates on this diet. So we know from history of Arctic explorers who tried to eat small animals that if you only eat protein or your protein to fat ratio gets too high, that means if the protein is too high compared to the fat you're taking in, you can get what's called rabbit sickness. And basically this is just the idea that in order for your body's biochemistry, in order for your engine in your body to work, you need fat. And you need a certain ratio of fat to protein to work best. So I think that the ideal ratio to shoot for is 2-to-1 fat to protein in terms of calories. So when we're looking for sources of fat, we can start with fatty meats. And ribeye is a perennial favorite. It's amazing, it's fatty, but it's not even fatty enough, generally speaking. You're gonna need to add extra fat. So where do you get the extra fat from? So what I've done, and this has worked for me, is there's a lot of companies that make tallow, which is rendered beef fat. You can get lard, which is rendered pork fat. But you're going to need to have something like that. Maybe ghee, which is clarified butter, depending how sensitive you are to dairy. And you're going to need to add fat to your meat, and you can mess with these ratios. You don't have to hit this ratio of 2-to-1 fat to protein perfectly. But if you're not feeling great on this diet, it's something to consider if you're eating a lot of protein and you're not eating a lot of fat with it. And if you push your fat up, I bet you'll feel better. All right? So, number 3. This one is really critical. This is really interesting. This is about eating nose to tail in the animal. And this is a really important evolutionary fact. Our ancestors did not just eat ribeye or tenderloin when they killed an animal. They ate the heart, they ate the lungs, they ate the liver, which is super nutritious, and they ate the brain, and they ate the skin. So the skin has a lot of collagen, which goes back to what I was talking about in point 1. But the liver is really a powerhouse of nutrients. It is nature's multivitamin. In fact, multivitamins were designed to mimic the liver because liver is considered sacred to most every indigenous culture. When an animal is killed, the liver is eaten immediately. It is usually eaten raw and distributed among all the members of the tribe. It's such a valuable source of nutrients. There's so many great things in liver. B vitamins, which are really not that present in muscle meat. So we're talking all of them: thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, folate, B12, pantothenic acid. Liver is full of these B vitamins. Minerals, selenium, manganese, iron, zinc, the list goes on and on. Choline, which is important for the formation of neurotransmitters and cell membranes. Vitamin A in the retinol form, which is the pre-made form of vitamin A, prevalent in the liver. If you only eat muscle meat, you'll miss out on a lot of these things. Vitamin C is talked about a lot in the carnivore community. Liver is a pretty good source of vitamin C, actually. It's about 30 milligrams of vitamin C in 3 ounces of liver. So what I would recommend to people who are considering or on a carnivore diet is to include some liver in your diet. How much? I think anywhere from 3 to 8 ounces a week is totally safe and will put you much better off in terms of micronutrients. If you're gonna get over 8 ounces a week, I think you have to think about where some of your other micronutrients are coming from. You don't want to get too much vitamin A, but even 8 ounces of liver a week is not going to give you too much vitamin A. This is not polar bear liver we're talking about. There's all these people that talk about polar bear liver. You're going to get vitamin A poisoning. Beef liver is what I usually recommend. You're not going to get vitamin A toxicity with 8 ounces of liver a week. All right? Number 4, last but not least, you guys have all heard of these omega-3 fatty acids. So grass-fed meat is going to have more EPA and DHA, which are the main omega-3 fatty acids. But if we only eat the muscle meat, we're going to be missing out on omega-3 fatty acids. This is where things like seafood can come into play on a carnivorous diet, or egg yolks, which are great sources of DHA too. If you're eating seafood, you're going to be getting DHA. If you don't want to eat seafood, you can eat egg yolks. Liver has some omega-3 fatty acids, but you need to think about this as well in your diet. If you're only eating muscle meat and you're not eating egg yolks or seafood, you might not be getting enough essential fatty acids. And we're really talking about the omega-3s here because the meat is going to have some omega-6s, which are also essential. All right? So those are my 4 things. In review, number 1, methionine-glycine ratio. And I think the easiest thing with this one is to consider that if you're eating 100 grams of muscle meat, you should be getting at least 10 grams of collagen with that. Number 2, fat to protein ratio. This is considering your macros. I would shoot for about 2 to 1 in terms of calories, and you can do that by getting fatty meat and adding fat to it. But don't just eat protein. You don't want to get rabbit sickness. Number 3 is organ meats. Gotta eat the liver. I know a lot of people don't like the liver, but it's an important thing. It has so many micronutrients in it, and it's a way to really make this diet evolutionarily consistent and increase your macronutrient intake. And number 4 is essential fatty acids. We're talking about omega-3s. Think about liver, egg yolks, or seafood for these. All right? I think if you do these things, a carnivorous diet is going to be much more sustainable and it's going to be much more nutritious from what I can tell. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I think this diet has a lot of really interesting potential in terms of autoimmune diseases. I think we're going to see more and more people doing this long-term or short-term. I think it can be really interesting as a therapeutic trial for people with autoimmune diseases. I've also seen improvement in people with mental health stuff, depression, anxiety with this diet. So it's something to think about it. You just got to do it right. And it challenges you to think about where you're getting your nutrients and where your food is coming from. Thanks for watching this video, guys. If you like it, give me a like, comment if you have questions. I'm coming back with more soon. I'll see you later.